20-year-old Dane who rides for Berwick in the Premier League, and he's made a long journey down here today, come all the way down today, and well, Kelvin Tatum's the man we'll be watching, but there's going to be a battle royal surely between Martin Dugard on the inside and the world champ Tony Rickardsson. All tomorrow. A busy man, our Tony Rickardsson. Martin Dugard looks down at the tapes. Remember, 4 laps and away we go. And it's neck to neck into the first bend. Dugard holds it down. Kelvin Tatum coming through in his tracks on the inside. Rickardsson on the outside. Tatum back in third. Rickardsson the world champion with a real battle, but Martin Dugard holding the racing line. Martin Dugard holding the inside, and Dugard from here looks like the winner, PC.
Yeah, Martin knows his way around this track. I was talking to his dad today. His dad put lots of dirt down on this track, Bob, that does the track, and it's very, very grippy early on here now.
2 laps gone. Martin Dugard in front. Tony Rickardsson second. Kelvin Tatum back in third. Tom Madsen slightly outclassed, perhaps at the back. Dugard stretching his lead. Rickardsson in second place, looking back to see where is Kelvin Tatum. And with a lap and a quarter to go, Kelvin Tatum looks set for third place, but he's going to have to chase an awful lot to get on terms with Rickardsson. Martin Dugard's got plenty of time to look back, and Martin Dugard is going to take the checkered flag here with some comfort. A fast heat for the man in red. In second place, Tony Rickardsson in white. Third is Kelvin Tatum in blue. That's 4-2 to Eastbourne as they take the first heat, and of course lead progressively by that as it stands at the moment. Martin Dugard, the heat winner. A battle royal to the first bend with Tony Rickardsson, but Martin Dugard, once he gets in front on this track.
And track's quite good as well.
Martin, you made a brilliant start there. You know, you held your line. Tony was just on the outside of you in the corner. You know, you didn't have to move him too much or anything. You just seemed to get away from him.
Yeah, well, I made a jump with Tony, and the front wheel climbed up going to the first turn. I thought, oh, Tony's beat me now. But I just sort of crept round, like I say, around the inside.
We're going to have a look at the start right now. Let's take a look. Here it is.
So I've jumped, and then the front wheel's bobbled to the first turn, then it's just started to lift to go in. So I crept right around the inside, and I've seen Tony go where, which would be brilliant if it was the old track, but since we've changed the style of the track, he's there, but not in the right place at the right time.
Seems, Martin, you're getting a lot of speed up the straight, especially coming out of the second corner.
Yeah, it's obviously where we've changed the shape of the track. I can sort of get on the line and come out on right up the inside, which, yeah, it's the sort of place that I enjoy, the small tracks. It's the big ones I struggle on, and this is what I'm all about.
Martin, of course, Kelvin's on the board now, but glad to have him aboard.
Yeah, it's like I said before, Kelvin, he only lives like half an hour away, 40 minutes. He's come here and he trains during the winter. He knows what the track's all about, and it's better for him to be on our side than against us.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we'll let you get back to the pits and get yourself...
Very bizarre.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I can't quite believe it.
We should have a little studio over us, shouldn't we?
Yes. Yeah.
Well done. Important 4 points to kick off with. I mean, that was really good. I don't think you could have expected anything any better, though, probably knowing you wanted to win.
Yes, it would have been nice to have made a slightly better start. I just lifted a bit when I dropped the clutch. It's very grippy on the start, it just caught me out. But Martin winning the race and me coming in third, we got a 4-2, and it's a good start for Eastbourne.
Absolutely. Now, the first corner looked pretty hectic, was it?
It was very hard. Both Tony and Martin meant business there, and not riding this year in England, I'd forgotten the hustle bustle in the first corner, and it all seemed to happen very, very quickly. But the race was a fast time, you know, it just equalled the track record, so I felt pretty decent.
Well, you certainly were in good company there with world champion and, of course, track specialist Martin Dugard. So, well done, mate. Good start.
Thanks very much.
OK.
Cheers.
Jonathan?
The Australian for Kings Lynn. Brent Collier, another Australian for Eastbourne, goes from gate 2. Tom Madsen, his second successive ride, goes in gate 3, and on the outside is Craig Watson. And remember, the visitors from Kings Lynn, who have a 20-point lead from the home leg, mustn't go behind too far too early on, PC, does they?
That's right. They've got to establish themselves right now.
Well, they're going to have a go in this one. This is the reserve seat. Away they go. McGowan gets it away on the tapes on the inside. Coming around the outside, Craig Watson struggling. He goes wide. Watson picks it up brilliantly to come for the back through into second place for Eastbourne. Back in third place now, Brent Collier. Trailing at the rear, Tom Madsen. But chase is on for Travis McGowan out front. But now look at Craig Watson in pursuit. He's closing out. Look at back to fumbling in. The referee, Paul Carrington, has stopped that. Tom Madsen has gone down in a heap with Brent Collier. The referee will exclude the man in yellow, Tom Madsen, as the prime cause of the stoppage. We will be restarting with just 3 riders, Tom Madsen excluded, and ill luck there for the 20-year-old Dane from Berwick, who's guesting for Kings Lynn. But that was tragic for him, and look, he's having an argument already. He believes he shouldn't have been excluded, I don't think.
There's a bit of a bad crash there. They both went down very, very heavily into the fence there. Tom Madsen has been excluded. I'm sure he's going to have a word now with the referee. It looks as though he's rushing into the pits there to find the phone. We can see the crash here. Madsen's on the inside. He loses it going into the turn as Collier's just on the outside of him, and Collier goes straight down.
Well, I don't think there's much doubt on that PC that Madsen had to go out for that one, and he's gone to the pits phone to have a word, and I'm sure our referee Paul Carrington will make his point, and I don't think he's going to change his decision. But there we are, a pile up into the bend. The race restarted with just 3. Look again, PC.
Yeah, we can see the rider in yellow. He loses it going in there. He takes Brent Collier's front wheel away. Brent's got nothing he can do, straight into the fence there. The fence takes the impact. Both riders are able to walk away, which is good.
No, there's no doubt about that. I'm afraid he lost it coming into the bend, and he's taken Brent Collier.
Yeah, but it was on the inside and he'd got ahead, and Brent landed the bike on him.
No, you had a very good view from here, and he's lost it totally. He's lost it totally. He couldn't turn, and he's run straight into him. Okay, cheers.
Well, Tom Madsen disappointed his team manager Martin Griffith talking to our referee, and Susie Perry is there with young Tom.
Well, Tom, a bit of controversy early on. How did you see that?
From my side, I couldn't see him when he laid a bike, so I feel like he laid a bike on me, like on the back, my back wheel. So I don't know. I don't think I should be excluded for. I come from the back, and I was in the inside, and I was in the front. So normally, when you're in the front, you can control the race, like. And he just laid on me, and we just went off. So I don't know.
So what's going to happen now?
Yeah, I don't know. The referee says it's my fault, and like when I watched him on telly, it seems like I'm in the front and he laid on my back wheel. Like it's not like he's on my front wheel or something like that. So.
Do you feel like that everyone should ride again and no one should be excluded?
No, I don't know, and it's difficult for the referee to see when he sees us from the back. So you can say on that point instead of excluding me and get 4 riders a chance, but that's the way the rule says in the speedway.
All right, Tom, thanks for talking.
Kings Lynn, Brent Collier, the Aussie for Eastbourne goes from gate 2, and on the outside it's Craig Watson from Eastbourne. 3 Australians of different pedigrees starting here. Travis McGowan comes from Mildura, 2 is Brent Collier in red. Craig Watson in blue with a gap between him and his teammate Collier. Our starting marshal walks away, Alan Roll, but where they go, Travis McGowan picks it up again. McGowan comes across, and Brent Collier takes his own teammate Craig Watson out of it. Brent Collier is now out of it himself. But coming through into second place is Craig Watson, and Craig Watson is there, and Brent Collier, who almost put his own teammate out on that first bend, is now relegated to last place. Travis McGowan out front in the white helmet colours, down the back straight with a lap and a half gone. Watson now in pursuit, but Travis McGowan will do well for Kings Lynn here, and with 2 laps to go, the young Aussie going well for this track, Peter.
Yeah, Travis is looking really well here, but Craig Watson's really putting him under pressure. He's actually catching now, Craig Watson. I know Craig wants to put on a good display here because I'm sure that he'd love to ride here at Eastbourne next year.
With a lap to go, Travis McGowan in front for Kings Lynn, surely a short of 3 race points. In second place it's Craig Watson. Back at the rear is Brent Collier, but the man in white is going to provide the first heat victory of the night for the visitors from Kings Lynn. There he is, Travis McGowan in white, Craig Watson in blue in second place, and a long way behind in red his teammate and partner. That's Brent Collier in blue. That's a 3-all for the heat. And that means that it's now Eastbourne 7, Kings Lynn 5. The absent Bobrahel for Kings Lynn. On the inside for Eastbourne, it's David Norris in blue. It's Stefan Andersson goes from gate 2 for Kings Lynn. He's on loan from Eastbourne. Used to be a regular Eastbourne rider, the Swede. Peter Narlin, since coming into the Eastbourne side, and coming back as a Swede who goes from gate 3. And Shane Parker, the 29-year-old from Adelaide who rides for Hull, guesting for Kings Lynn for the absent and injured Bobrahel. I've got a feeling, Peter, that Shane Parker will go rather better on this circuit than Bobrahel. It's Stefan Andersson goes from gate 2 in white. Peter Narlin in red from gate 3, and Shane Parker on the outside. All at some time for Eastbourne. Now starting marshal Alan Roll walks away. Up go the tapes under the finger of our referee Paul Carrington, and away they go to the apex of the bend. It's Stefan Andersson there first, but the battle joined by David Norris. Norris picks it up. Coming through in third place is Shane Parker. Back at the rear, somewhat surprising, the informed Peter Narlin. We have a race on our hands here now because David Norris goes wide, picks up the grip, picks up a racing line. Shadowed down the back straight by Stefan Andersson. They open up a gap. Disappointing for Narlin at the back, who has something wrong with his gearing, but Norris is looking good in front.
Yes, David Norris made a good start there, but the 2 Kings Lynn boys here holding second and third, just about there. We lose Stefan Anderson with a bike problem.
Engine failure, bit of smoke coming out of the back. This is good for Eastbourne, but sad for Kings Lynn. And away round this last lap, they start now with David Norris in front in blue. Parker is going to do well to hold second place, but this is going to be a 4-2 to Eastbourne if it stays like this with the retirement of Narleen. But out front in blue now, there is David Norris with time to look back. Shane Parker second. In third place is Peter Narleen. Another 4-2 that to Eastbourne. It's now 11-7 the home team leads with 3 heats gone. A great ride in the end by David Norris. He was a shade fortunate by the retirement of Stefan Anderson, but David Norris delighted. 3. Lee Adams, the Grand Prix rider from Australia, from Mildura, goes from the outside. But Travis McGowan has come into this. He is a reserve, of course, and may take any of Tom Madson's rides, providing Tom Madson has at least 3 rides in the evening now. The starting marshal, Alan Roll, walks away. The tapes fly up under the finger of Paul Carrick to the referee. Away they go. McGowan picks it up again, but picking up speed around the outside. Dean Barker goes by as if he's standing still. Dean Barker picks it up going into the top bend. In second place, McGowan. Third in white there is Lee Adams. Tail off the back, and disappointment for Craig Watson as they go wide. Barker makes a mistake. McGowan picks it up. A real battle between these two, but Barker picks it up once again in front of McGowan.
Yeah, McGowan's having a real go here at Dean Barker. Dean Barker's just about holding on to that lead now. They've both all come back to riding the inside line where all that grip is low down.
And Craig Watson is going to come through from the back because brilliant action by Watson at the back to go by McGowan as if he's standing still. McGowan has gone from first to last, and with a lap to go, Dean Barker's out front in second place now. Lee Adams is battling. Watson is in third place. McGowan at the back. Barker leads the 3 Aussies well. Barker's going to take the checkered flag. Eastbourne are going to get the heat advantage again by 4-2 as Barker wins that in red. Ahead of in white Lee Adams, third in blue. That is Craig Watson. 4 points to 2 for Eastbourne. They take that heat. They lead by 15 points to 9 with 3 heat advantages out of 4. A level of the points in the other heat. A brilliant ride by Dean Barker, who lost it just after the end of lap 2, but picked it up well again and somehow relegated Travis McGowan from first to last. From the start there was a battle. It sorted itself out later.
Yeah, on the start, Travis McGowan makes a great one there from the 2 position, but just on the outside of him, Dean Barker runs round the outside in the grip. This is the start again. Lee Adams on the outside doesn't make it at all. He's on a very wide run, but right in the thick of things on the first turn is Travis McGowan, the reserve. Now he's holding that there, but it allows Dean Barker just to blast away. Again, though, we can see that this is McGowan here, almost gets level with Dean Barker, but right there behind them is Lee Adams. Lee Adams is certainly one of the quick boys in this race, and he's holding that inside, and Lee Adams gets it pretty wrong there, but again, just pulling away. Dean Barker is doing everything right under all that pressure. He managed to hold on to that lead. Once Lee Adams got clear of the pack, Lee really had a go, but on the finish it was too late because Dean Barker held on above Lee Adams for the final there.
A truly brilliant ride by the local boy making good, and he's in our studio with Craig and Jonathan.
Yeah, he just drew a deep breath when he got in here because that was one heck of a heat. Great entertainment, but how did you see it?
Well, to be honest, I just had to get my head down and go for it. Lee's no slouch, you know, and Travis had a good ride in his first ride, and you know, he's going really well tonight so far. I didn't think expect a reserve to go so good at Eastbourne.
Yeah, he put you under a lot of pressure in the first lap, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw him make a start in his first one. It was really good, and I knew he was off the inside of me, and I actually made quite a good one. But then I messed up coming in the corner. He seemed to get back past me again, and I actually got a better run coming out the corner. But when I looked round, I saw Lee, and I thought, oh,
yeah, you're lucky you kept it going.
Looking at you guys in action tonight and looking at what the result you did against Oxford, you guys are back on form again, but where have you been all season?
Well, I don't think we've all been clicking at the right time. When one of us is going good, the other one's not, and I think at Oxford we actually made a wheel row together as a team, and it was really buzzing that night, and the same at Coventry on Monday. Although we lost, we had a good innings.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to the pits, and I believe in the pits, Susie Perry's there, and she's with Tony Rickardson.
Well done, mate.
Cheers.
On the start line, no less, Tony Rickardson, world champion. Got a bit of work to do tonight, Tony?
Yeah, sure do. I didn't feel as sharp as I wanted to in my first race, so I've been trying to focus a little bit harder now, see if it's going to go a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you're in tough competition here tonight. You've got David next to you, who's obviously just won a heat, and it's not going to be an easy one at all, is it, tonight's match?
No, it certainly isn't, and if we're going to have any chance to win tonight, I need to perform a little bit better than that. So, but we had a few problems too, and hope everybody can get the bikes sorted out and have a rest of the meeting good.
Is there some problems with the bikes in the pits in your team?
No, it's just Stefan had a bad luck and hit a rut and throw a chain, and a few points been slipping away, so we need to click into gear right now before it's too late.
Okay, good luck Tony, good luck with this one.
Stefan Andersson, the tactical substitute from Sweden, goes for Kings Lynn in gate 1. Peter Narlin from Sweden for Eastbourne goes in gate 2. Tony Rickardson, the Swedish world champion, goes in gate 3 for Kings Lynn. David Norris, the local boy who did so well in his first ride in heat 3 and winning 5. The Starling Washer gets them in line. Referee looks down. They look at the magnets. Away they go on the inside there. Picking it up is Stefan Andersson. He picks it up. Rickardson and Andersson lead. Kings Lynn will close the gap, but look at Norris trying to come through in second place. A brilliant ride by the local lad. Now he picks up the grip on the outside. Rickardson looks back. He thinks he's got his teammate Stefan Andersson there, but it isn't. It's the speedy David Norris, the world champion in front with a lap and a half gone. Now he's picked up the speed. Now Rickardson is going, and now the rest are nowhere.
Yeah, Tony Rickardson was trying to slow the race down there. He was trying to get in the way of David Norris to let Stefan Andersson get amongst things and try and get him up into second place, but he realised that Dave Norris is going real well. Dave's got a very fast line around the outside on the bottom turn, and he's very quick. Tony's disappeared now, realises that it's a lost cause.
Just under a lap to go. Tony Rickardson out front. His teammate and partner Stefan Andersson is back in third place, which will mean a 4-2 to Kings Lynn and their first heat advantage. But Rickardson is going to win this. He's looked fast, he's looked furious, he's looked good. Ahead of David Norris in blue. Third place in yellow is Stefan Andersson. That's 4 points to 2 to the visitors from Kings Lynn. It's now Eastbourne 17, Kings Lynn 13. The gap is certainly closed up by that one, but a fine win by the world champion Tony Rickardson.
On the points, we're only like 3 down or 4 down, something like that. So that makes the match a little bit more interesting, and hope that everybody now, when they had the first ride here, it's always a little bit awkward to come here for the first ride, and now everybody have had that, so hopefully we can start to push them a little bit harder.
The bike seems working really good, Tony. You know, it's pulling good out the turn. The sound's beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
Must have a good setup.
Yeah, you know, it's a pretty late setup we started trying to use, and it's been very successful so far. And it's actually been pretty good around the bigger tracks too, so we were happy. Just have to get the clutch adjustment right, and I think I can make some good starts here tonight.
That's good at the start. I thought you was going for a 5-1 there with Ando on the inside, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I sure thought so, that we could have a 5-1 going, but I was surprised. David Norris did an excellent first corner and came around Steph, so that was a bit unlucky, but there you go.
Well done, mate.
Well, we'll let you get back to talking to the team and rearing them up.
This time goes from the inside, our Sky Sports man. Lee Adams goes from gate 2. Martin Dugard, the Eastbourne captain who equalled the track record on his first outing in heat 1, he goes from gate 3. Travis McGowan, who's had mixed luck so far, goes from the outside. Travis McGowan went from first to last in his last ride, and a tough task. Kelvin Tatum, if he makes it from the gate, if he apex that bend, and well, he tries there, but Lee Adams has got the drop on Kelvin Tatum. Martin Dugard goes around the outside. Eastbourne pair second and third. Dugard and Tatum. Lee Adams out front. Travis McGowan at the back. Eastbourne, if it stays like this, a share of the points. But with a lap gone, Lee Adams out front after a truly brilliant start. Martin Dugard not so settled this time in second place. Back in third is Kelvin Tatum. Travis McGowan way back. But out front, Lee Adams has got the gearing right, the line right, and now leads by street.
Yes, Lee Adams is so stylish, Tony. He looks so good on the bike. He just flows with the bike there. When the bike lifted, he was totally under control. He's got a great riding style, and you know, I don't think anyone's going to catch him when he's this far in front.
Lee Adams goes into the final lap with some comfort there ahead of Martin Dugard going wide in second place. Kelvin Tatum set for his third successive third place, but this time a bonus point for being behind his teammate. McGowan is at the back, but the checkered flag belongs to Lee Adams. Martin Dugard in second place, Kelvin Tatum in third. A share of the points between the teams with Travis McGowan last. It's Eastbourne 3, Kings Lynn 3 in that one, and Eastbourne now lead by 20 points to 16 with 16.
It keeps catching me out. I think it's because riding the long track bikes, you sit much further back on the bike. Here we see it there, and I'm bouncing all the way to the first corner, and at this track you just can't afford to do that, and Lee made a brilliant start for gate 2. But yeah, I hung in there for the point there, and it's just happening so quickly at the moment, it's difficult to settle down. But if I can get the bike to go forward instead of popping around, then I'll be much closer going into the first corner.
It's very difficult not only to come into your first Speedway match this year, but to come in, you know, at this state where Kings Lynn are really fired up, and especially in the last couple of heats, they seem to be really coming back and getting themselves together, and they don't want to lose this match tonight, do they?
No, they don't, and you can see that. You can see with Tony's last ride, he really meant business in that race, and Lee in that race, so they got some good race winners going, and it's going to be a hard night, there's no question about that.
I mean, ultimately, Eastbourne have got nothing to lose, but Kings Lynn have, haven't they?
Yes, they need everything they can get, and a victory away from home is crucial for any team. And and I think particularly the last Sky Sports meeting they had at Peterborough, they weren't so good. So I'm sure they're trying to put that right tonight.
Absolutely. Well, Tony certainly wants to put that behind him. So we'll throw back now to Craig Boyson. Jonathan.
Helmet colours. Dean Barker for Eastbourne goes from gate 2. Shane Parker from Adelaide, Australia goes from gate 3 for Kings Lynn. And Brent Collier, the Australian from Eastbourne, goes from the outside in the blue helmet colours. No problem for him to come across. Our starting marshal walks away. Up go the tapes and they fly, and Parker does get a fly, but on the inside, Barker has pulled it round. Look at Parker, and down at the back goes Brent Collier, who did a U-turn as the rest were moving. Parker has gone to the front. Barker is battling. In third place now is Stefan Anderson, but out front now it's Shane Parker taking advantage of that first bend mayhem. Brent Collier is absolutely nowhere now. He's more than a half a lap behind. But look at Stefan Anderson in the white helmet colours. He's picking it up. He goes ahead of Dean Barker. And if it stays like this, 4 of those points will be pulled back. Barker's got work to do for Eastbourne at the back. But Parker has picked the right line, the right way, at the right time.
Oh, yes, this looks a lot better now for Kings Lynn. They've both passed Dean Barker. They've got a 5-1 here if they can hold it. And like we said, Shane Parker made a good start from gate 3, so that outside is working better. And the outside manoeuvres for the overtaking were working.
With the quarter of a lap to go now, it's going to be won by Shane Parker in the yellow helmet colours, ahead of his teammate and partner Stefan Anderson in white. In third place is Dean Barker in red. Disappointment for Eastbourne, elation there for Kings Lynn. It's now 21 points apiece, and that's exactly what Kings Lynn wanted. It's level after 7 heats, slots to race 4, league position, the sort of score we like to see, but it all started from here.
Well, we can't get much closer than that. 21 points each at Heat 7. We can see the start. Dean Barker makes a good start. Now he's leading it, but right behind him, Shane Parker has ridden the wide line from the outside. There's Shane off gate 3. He gets to the first turn. He's already decided he's going to ride a nice wide run to get the speed up, keep the speed up, so when he comes onto the back straight, he's just got enough speed to go round the outside there of Dean Barker. Brent Collier spun round on the first turn. Dean Barker comes back at Shane Parker, but now in the white helmet, Stefan Anderson comes into the frame. He's having a good go. Stefan Anderson gets by Dean Barker, and this is a 5-1 for Kings Lynn and 21 points each.
Well, the valuable guest Shane Parker has made it to our studio. He's with Craig and Jonathan.
Yeah, exceedingly valuable, and they say you always score good points here, and you're showing why.
Yeah, I kind of like this track. It's nice and small, and generally most Aussies like big tracks, but I'm a little bit opposite of that. I like the smaller tracks, and it's so important to get out of the start here and make a good gate, and I didn't quite make a good gate, but Dino locked up a little bit.
Let's take a quick look at that start again, and perhaps you can tell us what you think now.
Yeah, see,
spun a little bit there.
Spun a bit, yeah. Dino's got a good run all the way into the corner, and if you watch him coming out, he locked up a little bit, and I was just in the dirt. He locked up there, and I've got a good run coming out.
It was a fairly manic first lap, you know.
It was very hairy. Dino come back going into the third corner there, and I managed to sort of just drop it down on him and stay ahead.
Yeah, Dino's been going really well around here. Now to hold him out like you did, it was a good race.
Yeah, I thought it was Dino behind me with a couple of laps to go, and I looked back and realised it was Ando. I didn't even realise.
Well, I know you Aussies will talk all night. You're in the next heat. Get out of here.
All right. Here, the lineup. Tom Madsen yet to score on the inside in yellow for Kings Lynn. Craig Watson, the Aussie guest for Eastbourne, goes from gate 2. Shane Parker, another Aussie and guesting for Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3. And our man Kelvin Tatum goes from the outside. Are we going to see everybody from Kelvin Tatum's camera, Peter, or is he going to look at the rest from behind?
Well, we're soon going to find out. If there's no one in that view there, we'll know that he's leading the race. We're soon going to find out as soon as those tapes go, which is going to be... Oh, he's pulling back now. I wonder, he seems to have a problem here. Possibly his goggles have steamed up, and he's just clearing his goggles. Yes, he's back at the line again.
Well, Kelvin's got to go from the outside gate where nobody's won yet. The tapes go up, they fly. We look down. Kelvin Tatum on the outside, on the inside in yellow there. It's picked up by Tom Madsen, but look at Shane Parker. Madsen nearly does a somersault. Parker picks it up down the back straight. Parker's in front of Craig Watson. Kelvin Tatum is at the rear, but look at the men in front. Kelvin Tatum has a view from there to look at them, and he's got a bit to do as our cameraman come rider. Is he going to go through in front of Madsen? What a battle at the back. Tatum's picking it up into third place as he goes wide. Madsen's holding him off, but out front now, Craig Watson has picked it up for Eastbourne. Parker was expected to do this here. It's a great ride by Craig Watson, but Kelvin Tatum is going round the outside, and Kelvin Tatum is into third place now for Eastbourne. The Eastbourne fans love this now because they have the heat advantage here. They will take the lead if it stays like this. Tatum is in third. Out front is Craig Watson. We look from Kelvin Tatum's helmet camera there, but now with the checkered flag awaiting him, Craig Watson takes that in blue. In second place in white is Shane Parker. Kelvin Tatum in red is in third place. That's 4 points to 2 to Eastbourne. It's now 25-23 in favour of the home club. A tremendous win by the 23-year-old from Sydney who's guesting here. Craig Watson has done it for Eastbourne. The home fans are happy. Kings Lynn once again have work to do, but that was some race. They were changing place like musical chairs, and really from the start, Peter Collins, it started it all, didn't it?
Yes, Tony, that point there from Kelvin possibly could prove very, very crucial in the final result from this match. We see Kelvin's missed the start. We can see the other riders. That's Shane Parker's back wheel that we can see. Again from the front, Kelvin is on the outside. He realises early on that he's missed the start, but he's gone for the big blast right round the outside, and he's gone far too wide. Now that's really where Kelvin lost it. Now he totally had his work cut out to catch up there. Now he chases Tom Madsen. In the front we can see Shane Parker. Shane's holding that lead. Craig Watson's having a great move there, who managed to get by, but that's Kelvin. This is what Kelvin's all about here, that outside run. There's loads of dirt out there, and that's where he got that grip to zoom by the outside of Tom Madsen, and that 1 point for Kelvin was great.
And that's how Kelvin Tatum saw it himself, and what a ride that was by our man Kelvin Tatum. And in our studio with when Craig Watson is the man that did it all, and Craig Watson has made his way to the studio, and he is in a studio with Craig Boyce and Jonathan Green.
Yep, certainly was a good heat for you. How did you see it?
Oh, I don't know, just trying to keep me back wheel in the dirt, stop from spinning up all the time, and Shane's been going quite well, and I really didn't think I'd get him, but he was coming in a little bit slower in this turn, and I just sort of managed to hook it up on the outside.
Yeah, he had a super line, and like the bike was just pulling, so hard, especially coming out of this turn. You must have made a few changes that was different than last ride.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here twice now this year, and I haven't had a good bike to ride here, but I brought my bike that I ride on my home track, and that works real good on the small track, so I'm happy with everything.
How does it feel beating some of the Elite League riders?
It's good, because I feel, I'd like to be in the Elite League, so it's good to get a bit of confidence doing it up here, and I'd like to go on with it maybe next year.
We'll have to do the Elite League down under after this rate with you guys coming over.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well done again. We'll let you get set up for the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Well done, Watto. Well, fantastic crowd.
Points to 23. Here's the lineup for heat number 9. Lee Adams, the Aussie for Kings Lynn, goes so well, goes to the inside. David Norris, the local boy who's certainly made good, goes from gate 2. Travis McGowan is struggling tonight after winning his first race. The 18-year-old Aussie goes from gate 3. And Peter Narleen, who's struggled amazingly for Eastbourne because his recent form has been brilliant, he goes from the outside gate, the one that's plaguing us at the moment and for which nobody has yet won a heat here in the previous 8. So there's the lineup. On the inside, Lee Adams, if he can make this gate, well, he will take some catching, but he hasn't made it here because look at David Norris coming across. Adams picks up the grip. Adams picks up the speed. Adams closes the gate on David Norris, and now Adams will go from here. Back in third place is Eastbourne's partner, or Norris's partner, Peter Narleen. Tail off at the rear is Travis McGowan, but this is another brilliant ride, PC, by Lee Adams.
Yeah, a great manoeuvre from Lee. If you notice when he's riding, you see how he keeps the bike very, very upright on the bends. That's making the whole of the tyre grip and get as much traction as possible.
Well, they're taking the bends differently because the top bend, the pitch bend, is different from the others. They come round this big bend wide, and that's exactly where Lee Adams is going to pick up the grip now with a lap to go. Looking back in second place is David Norris. He's assured of that position. His teammate Peter Narleen is third. This will be another split of the points, and this will mean with 6 heats to go, there's still only 2 points in it. But Lee Adams is going to take this one in white. In second place in blue, David Norris. Third in red is Peter Narleen. Another fine speedway race. Another one that has thrilled the fans, and another one that has kept Kings Lynn well and truly in this. It's going to be a battle all the way. Eastbourne lead by 28 points to 26.
Kings Lynn are certainly in the last couple of races.
There's the lineup. Shane Parker here goes from the inside of prolific gate. Kelvin Tatum goes from gate 2. Stefan Andersson, the Eastbourne loanee, the Swede at Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3. And Martin Dugard. Stefan Andersson and Shane Parker, both experts. We've not had a winner from the outside, and Dugard's left at the tape for now. Kelvin Tatum is there and thereabouts this time, and look at Parker. And now it's Kings Lynn 1 and 2, but Dugard is coming with a vengeance on the inside. Out front is Shane Parker. He leads the pack. Martin Dugard in red coming through. In third place is Stefan Andersson. Kelvin Tatum is at the back and has a lot of work to do. But what a battle it's... Oh! Dugard has gone down. Dugard's done a somersault. Anything could have happened here. Our referee is stopping that. That was spectacular in the extreme. His father, Bob, is going to be the first one over there because Martin Dugard is flat out. That was a shock. Let's hope he's all right. He's getting up. He is certainly shaken there. That was spectacular in the extreme. We have to await our referee's decision. I can tell you our referee is looking to see exactly what's happened, and he's going to have a chance with us to see it again.
Yeah, we can see Martin there. He got caught there by Stefan Andersson. The bike, Stefan's bike, picked up Martin's front wheel, spat him off, totally off the bike, and then he fell very, very heavily, bounced up the track there. Fortunately, he was on a roll, and I'm sure that he's able to get up after that, but he's going to be aching all over.
Well, Martin Dugard didn't like that one. Look at that. Peter, who was at fault there?
Well, it's 50-50, that one. Here we go, there's Bob Dugard. It looks as though there's a bit of aggravation going on here with Bob. Bob seems to think that Stefan Andersson was at fault, so Bob's already made his mind up on this one.
Well, Bob Dugard, I think our referee has excluded Martin Dugard as the prime cause of the stoppage. Prime cause of the stoppage, our referee tells him that he is out, and Bob Dugard there is absolutely furious. Bob, the promoter here at Arlington, because he thinks Stefan Andersson quite clearly was at fault. The pictures gave an indication of that, Peter, and this man will not be happy.
Yeah, Bob was certainly first on the scene. Martin was down on the track. Bob went over to him, had a look at him. I think he felt that he was probably going to be certainly going to be able to recover from that. But it certainly upset Bob immensely because he certainly feels that Stefan Andersson took his front wheel away. Martin did fall very, very heavily. We can see there he's lying there on the ground. He was holding his backside, so he's possibly had a bit of a bad jolt, but he did roll, he did bounce, and he didn't land like a sack of potatoes, which was fortunate.
Well, certainly I'm sure that somebody on behalf of Eastbourne will want to speak to our referee. Our referee, certainly Paul Carrington, will have something to say about this, but I wonder what in our studio Jonathan and Craig have to say about this.
What did you see?
No, I mean, I was really surprised Martin didn't make the gate because I think Bob spent the whole track grade just preparing gate 4 for Martin, you know, and I'm really surprised he didn't make it. I made the start. I didn't see what happened behind me, but obviously there was an incident, and I don't know.
Lee Adams, you're here as well?
Yeah, I saw this. Here it is here, you know. I don't really think it was Stefan's fault, you know. I think Martin pretty much dropped it on Stefan when he had the move made. So
yeah, I think Martin,
it was unfortunate. I think they both got a little bit messy coming off the turn, but you know, that's
Stefan
racing.
pushed him a little bit wide. I see here, but like Martin to try to lock it back onto him at the same time, you know. And Martin really had the opportunity to run wider, but he didn't. He tried to lock it down on Stefan, and they come together. But you know, it's a tough one.
Well, let's go to our expert cameraman, of course, Kelvin Tatum. This is what he saw.
Yeah, well,
It's a scary situation to be in for Kelvin, having to look at that coming with him going towards that.
Yeah.
He's lucky to avoid it himself.
He backed off very quickly, I noticed, and wanted to check just how well. Good news, though, it looks as though he's up, but I have to say, from all of you riders here, you know that hurt.
Yeah, he must have a big headache after that, you know. He
Definitely
hit his head.
probably knocked the wind out of him when he's landed on his back, and luckily he's all right.
Well, he's a battler just like his father, Bob. But Martin Dugard having a quick shake off, but Bob Dugard now having a quick chat with the world champion, Tony Rickardson. But I'm glad to say, as you can see, Martin is okay, and he's headed back to the pits where, although excluded, we'll be back to face another battle soon.
Very
Craig,
sore
good
man.
to see.
Yeah, well,
Bob doesn't hold back, does he?
No, he gets a bit wild, the old Bob. So, you know, it's his pride and joy down here, and I guess it is his son. But I think it's a little bit silly, with, you know, going out and ranting and raving like that on the track, especially in front of all the crowd and the kids, especially. So
it's only you we usually see fighting in the opening tires, and we might have to change that now.
I learned my lesson once was enough. It cost me enough money last time.
Well, we're glad to say that we can have a little bit of a laugh now, because glad to say Martin Dugard is okay. You can see him there being helped slightly back to the pits. Oh, I think that just said what it needed to say.
Yeah, there's a fight on the pits now. That's, you know, it's getting messy now. There's no need for it.
There is absolutely no need for that, I don't think. But there it is. We have a rider down, and Martin Dugard showing how he felt about that.
Yeah, well, as I said, it's silly, you know, like they get a little bit hot under the collar here at Eastbourne, you know. You know, they do like a fight, but it's not right for the sport.
An ambulance.
Well, that is not what we like to see, and I'm afraid Dugard has reacted perhaps a little bit too much.
Yeah, you know, it was a tough racing incident. You know, like it happens in the sport. You know, it's a tough sport. You know, I got cleaned up in Sweden on Tuesday by a guy from behind. You know, I didn't get up and try to fight him, but it's par for the job. You know, it happens, and you know, I think Martin. You know, I think he's getting a little bit carried away.
It is something, I mean, it's a very tough sport, and, you know, you've got to be aggressive in certain ways, but I notice it in other sports, if it's rugby or if it's football, if you lose it like that, you can't gain your composure to do your job.
No, that's right. You know, Martin's spitting his dummy out at the moment, you know, and he's really got to, if he's fit enough, to concentrate on winning the match for Eastbourne. It's a tough, you know, Kings Lynn, they're on him, you know, they're here to win tonight, you know, they're here for them 3 points, so Martin's really got to get his head down, and, you know, I think he didn't do the right thing by just smacking Ando. Well,
we just saw a little shot of Kelvin looking quite bewildered to the right-hand side of Martin, and he's keeping well out of it. This is his debut meeting, of course. He won't want to get anywhere near this, and he's just sitting down and taking a bit of breath, but it must be hard for anybody to keep their concentration now. We've got a match on, remember? Yeah, I know. Well, it's all happening, I guess, you know, a bit of controversy, you know. As I said, it was a tough racing incident, you know. It's hard to say who was to blame, and God, we've just got to get on with it now and get your head down. Well, we've been talking about how Kings Lynn needed to win this one. We've talked about how Eastbourne have had an unlucky season, and you can see their frustrations with possibly facing the wooden spoon are coming out. The legacy of the Dugards, they've been here throughout the years, going down all the way back to the 1930s and so on. But tonight, they have perhaps got a little too frustrated with the way things have gone. Martin has gone down, Bob's reacted, and now Martin's reacted. Yeah, I know. Well, they've been known for it before. They've had fights with Kings Lynn, especially Kings Lynn. But there was one up there, I think, last year, you know, and there's a bit of controversy between the two teams, but, you know, more than likely Ando's going to come out the worst of all, you know. He's just copped one, and, well, I think it's silly, you know, and I think, well, if Tony being the captain he is, I think, you know, he'll get round the boys now and muster them all together and keep their team spirit going, and if they keep their heads clear, you know, they'll come away with a win. Well, you just said to me you thought Kings Lynn would have come out on top. Do you probably think that that's more rectified now that Eastbourne have effectively, almost collectively, lost it a little? Well, Martin's definitely lost the plot. So, look, Stefan, you know, like the doctor's there, he's got, you know, could have blurred vision. That's bad, mate. You know, if I was the referee, I'd have him taken out of the meeting. Well, I've just heard that Kings Lynn are so unhappy about the whole thing that they may not even ride for the rest of the meet. That's how badly they feel about it. They're going to try and show their feelings towards the referee on that. Yeah, well, you know, the referee it happened to me, you know, with Thomas Golub, you know, in Hackney, and you know, I copped a big £800 fine out of it, and they tried to stop me from riding the meeting, you know, and like, you just can't go and do that sort of thing, you know. No, I quite agree. Well, these pictures coming to you live from the pits. It's all action, it's all drama. The score was left at 28-26. That's how close it was, just 2 points. But then it all ended in fisticuffs when Martin Dugard went down and landed very heavily. He wasn't happy about it. He hit this man, Stefan Anderson. Stefan doesn't look too clever at the moment either, you know. It's a shame because Stefan, you know, he was in a good position there. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a tough enough sport as it is. I mean, you guys are risking life and limb every night. You guys come away with broken shoulders and broken... You don't need people punching you, do you? No, well, as I said before, it's very silly on Martin's behalf, you know. I think he should be taken out of the meeting, but, you know, just hope Ando can get his head clear and maybe use some of his anger to go and win a race instead of taking it out on somebody else. Well, I've just heard that if Martin Dugard is not excluded from the meeting, Kings Lynn will withdraw. That's what's happening at the moment. The referee is on the phone discussing this. This is not the situation they want, especially with the fact that there are a larger audience at bay watching this. Paul Carrington, the referee, will be trying to sort this out. We wouldn't want his job right now. Nah, he's up for it. It's just, well, it is a sticky situation. Of course he didn't say, well, I guess he's probably looked at it on the television, you know, but, well, Stefan's taking his race jacket off there, so he's not too well, the old boy. And I don't think he's seen it coming, but the referee, you know, it's a hard choice to make, I guess, now. And as you said, Kings Lynn, you know, if they're going to pull out of the meeting, well, I think it's just cause, to be honest with you. Well, not scenes we like to bring. Lee Adams looking on there, having a quick chat with Stefan, but obviously the ugly side in somewhat. Shane Parker's back out on the track. He's having a chat, getting back to the bikes. Yeah, Shane, he made a good start in that one too, Shane. He was away, you know, so I think a bit of frustration on the Eastbourne camp, you know, just showed a little bit more than it had to. You've seen plenty of fights. You've seen plenty of exasperation involved in Speedway. What, you know, have you ever seen anything like this?
Yeah, I've seen some fights here and there, you know, but like never somebody sort of coming from behind and knocking somebody like that before.
Well, let's take a look again at the start of that race. Shane Parker's just joined us again, and well,
great start,
boys,
Shane.
tell us about it.
Yeah, Kelv nearly made the start then, and he went a bit wide going past the corner, and I was managed to nip up the inside of him, but I didn't see nothing what went on behind me. I've seen the replay, obviously, afterwards.
Great first corner and you're away, you know. I think Martin got a little bit stressed, I think, it being at the back. Not used to that at Eastbourne after Bob sort of doctored the start for him.
Well, exactly. I mean, Steph looked like he picked up a little bit coming out of the corner, but, you know, I mean, that's racing. We sort of mix it when we get on the track, and you're bound to expect a crash once or twice now and again, and for Martin to go back in the pits and KO Stefan, it's a little bit out of order, really, you know.
Like, the bike looked a lot better than the last race. You struggled a little bit in the last race.
Yeah, I had two on the trot and I didn't have time to change my gear, and I changed the gear for that one and things went a lot better. So hopefully we'll be able to do it in the rerun.
I mean, guys, we've had plenty of scuffles in Speedway, and it's part of the sport. You guys, you know, you're under enormous pressure. It is an aggressive sport. You've got to be doing it on the track. You can't expect to just turn it off, but that's uncalled for, surely. Well, exactly. I mean, you know, it's very unsportsmanlike, and I mean, Martin should be probably kicked out of the meet for that, I would imagine. It's he's nearly knocked him out, and Ando didn't even see it coming. It's just bang. No. Is that the feeling amongst the riders?
Well, I mean, as far as Kings Lynn go, yeah.
And the worst thing is Stephanie won't be focused for the rest of the meet, and it's just ruined his night, you know.
Exactly.
So,
he's still dizzy at the moment. I think he's still seeing stars, so I don't think there's any way he'll be taking his rerun in the race.
Well, he's seen to by... I mean, I know how tough you guys are. You don't mess about. If you're fine, you're fine. You get up and go. He's obviously not fine at all. I think after he got hit, he knocked his head on the toolbox when he went down as well, which probably added to matters, but it's not good. You don't want to sort of see that off the track. On the track, a punch here and there is okay because you got your helmet on, you know, but when you're back in the pits and you got your helmet off, it's...
Maybe it's a good idea at the moment, Shane, to get back in the pits, you know, and start mustering the Kings Lynn guys together and keep the team spirit going like you're on a roll at the moment, and keep that atmosphere in the pits and try and forget about what's happened, because the Eastbourne guys are definitely distracted at the moment, and now's your chance to pounce, you know.
That's a top idea, and I think I'll do that right now.
Right, good advice from Craig, boys. Speaking like a true captain, of course, he captains the Oxford side, but he's just giving a little bit of friendly advice to Shane Parker, quite rightly. Go down to the Kings Lynn boys, as Rickardson's preoccupied talking to Stefan Anderson, but go and G him up. Tell him that there's a race meet on here, and they can win it. At the moment, they're 2 points behind. And you're right, it's there for the taking, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah, that's right. You know, as I just said, they're a bit distracted at the moment, you know, and if they do lose Martin from the meeting, it's going to be a big blow for Eastbourne, because he is their number one. Heat 13, you know, like he's the gun for that race, you know. They need him to win that race, you know, to keep the scores up. And I personally think he should be excluded from the meeting, but...
Well, Shane's gone back into the thick of it, as you've seen, as we can see the rest of the pits. This is what's happening. Nothing in terms of racing. And the likes of Kelvin Tatum, and there's Martin Dugard. Yeah. Relaxing after his scuffle, but he too is still in a lot of pain. He landed so heavily on that shoulder.
It was a really awkward, you know. He really come down on his side and on his head, you know, and I'm not surprised if he's dizzy, you know. And he's a tough character though, but you know, it was uncalled for what he did.
Well, I think the injuries to both his shoulder and his hip, more importantly. I think it's the hip that's giving him the most problem at the moment as he tries to sit up here. And Craig, I mean, I keep emphasising how tough you guys are, but I mean, how long would it take when you see a crash like that? How many days would it take before you can actually sort of fully recover from something like that?
Well, after about the second or third day, you sort of recover a fraction, I guess, but depending on the injury, you know, it could take anything up to 6 weeks if it's a broken bone or just bruising.
Well, I'm told that Graham Brodie is hopefully coming to the studio to talk to us about what decisions are going to be made, because these are unprecedented situations, certainly from our coverage point of view.
It's messy.
In Speedway. And as I can hear, Graham's just approaching now and here in the studio. But Graham, this is not what we want to see, and obviously it's a situation that is not good. Tell us what your adjudication on this at the moment is.
No, it's not my adjudication, it's the referee's adjudication.
Sure.
I've just spoken to him and he's confirmed that Martin will be thrown out of the meeting. And will be fined the maximum amount, £250, and the race will be rerun as soon as either Stefan is ready or a reserve is called up.
Craig, I'll bring you in at this point. Obviously, that's the kind of decision you expected.
Yeah, well, it was totally out of order, you know. Like it was a racing incident, you know. And as Graham just said, you know, you don't go whacking people from behind, not even, you know, after the race, you know, like, fair enough, you can have an argument with him in the pits and stuff, but it's supposed to be a family sport, even though it is a competitive sport. And I think Martin was way out of order, you know, and it shouldn't happen.
I was going to say, Graham, I mean, we know that Craig's had his, you know, scuffles in the past. You know, all of these guys are tough guys, but that was definitely uncalled for. The incident was over.
Absolutely. That's the view the control board will take, I'm sure. But for the moment, the referee's in charge, and that's his decision.
Well, it's a real sad shame, but at the moment, looks like we will get the meeting back on, though.
Oh, the meeting is running, no doubt about that. It's just without Martin, unfortunately.
Fair enough. OK, thanks for coming in and telling us of that.
Justice.
Well, that's the latest situation, and as Craig says, you feel that's fairly good justice, yeah?
Well, I don't think it was really fair what he did. You know, like, fair enough, it was a hard crash, as I said, and who knows who's to blame, but people can form their own opinions, but there's no need for that sort of thing. So. What
I find amazing is that you wouldn't expect Martin to do that way. He's such a gentleman at all times, it seems, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I've known Martin for a long time. You know, the Dugard family, they are hot under the collar, and they do love to get amongst it sometimes, but that was a bit too much, I think.
Well, it's cost Martin and his team dearly. He'll be bitterly upset tomorrow morning when he realises he, remember, is the top point scorer. He scored 18 against you not a few days ago, and I would have thought it's just about to sink in that now his team will not necessarily lose, but not give themselves the best chance now against this Kings Lynn side.
Well, he's just put a spanner in the works, to be honest with you. You know, Kings Lynn, as I said to Shane before, if they can sort of get their heads around things, and if Ando can come good and he's not too fuzzy in the head, and well, they got it. Here we go, you know, so.
Well, Dad's coming over for a quick chat. I don't know whether it's sympathy or not, but tomorrow morning, well, he didn't spend too long with him, but tomorrow morning he's going to wake up with a sore head, a very sore hip and shoulder.
And a sore wallet.
And a sore wallet, because I was about to say, and a very big fine.
Yeah.
Travis McGowan is going in white.
Well, Bob's in there. He's going to talk to some of the rest of the team.
Yeah, we'll just see how Stefan is. I hope he's all right. I don't know. Bob was a bit silly out in the track as well, you know, like, I know it's his son and stuff like that, but he didn't have to go out there ranting and raving like he did, trying to throw punches and stuff.
Well, I have to say, very passionate about his speedway, and quite rightly too, because the whole family has been involved for so many years right here. They built this whole stadium up, and they've spent so much time. And I remember last time we were down here, Eastbourne didn't get the result they wanted, and poor old Bob was running around on the tractor almost all night because he was very frustrated with the way things had happened. But it seems to be calming.
Rerun then of heat number 10. Now with just three riders. Shane Parker for Kings Lynn on the inside. Kelvin Tatum, the lone remaining rider for Eastbourne, with Martin Dugard bombed out of the meeting by referee Paul Carrington. And Stefan Anderson, the victim of that vicious right hook, goes from gate 3. And Stefan Anderson is bouncing back, VC.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he looked as though he was out for the count there, but he's out in the rerun, which is brilliant.
Well, he's not actually out in the rerun because he's been replaced here. That man in the white helmet colours, in fact, is Travis McGowan. Travis McGowan has come out in place of Stefan Anderson there, going from gate 3. Stefan Anderson has not come out. It's Travis McGowan is in third place, and Kelvin Tatum's got a battle on. Shane Parker's out front. Parker out front of Kelvin Tatum. Travis McGowan battling in third place, the reserve who's replaced Stefan Anderson. But Shane Parker out front is going to get Kings Lynn back on terms, because a 4-2 here will make it exactly even as we go into the last 5 heats. What a race, but Travis McGowan replacing Stefan Anderson at the back is now tailed off, and Shane Parker out front has the checkered flag for the taking.
Yeah, this could be crucial now, because Eastbourne without Martin Dugard are going to be very, very weak, and Kelvin Tatum really has got to really pull something out to hang on to this second place.
Well, Shane Parker is going into the final lap now in front. Kelvin Tatum is battling, pulling the tear-offs off. Kelvin Tatum is in pursuit of Shane Parker. Travis McGowan almost locks up behind him. Parker in yellow and black is going to get this ahead of Kelvin Tatum, who's going to earn his first second place of the night. The replacement for Stefan Anderson in white. Travis McGowan comes third. That's a 4-2 to Kings Lynn, and it's now Eastbourne 30, Kings Lynn 30, with 10 heats gone and 5 to go. The meeting there for the taking. This is boiling up in more ways than one, but Shane Parker has showed his worth as a guest, and the checkered flag there.
You've seen this kind of drama all season. What on earth have you let yourself in for?
I don't know.
What sort of team are you signed for, Kel?
Can't answer that question, Craig, sorry.
That's all right,
you were keeping well out of it, I noticed.
Yes, I didn't want to get involved in that. That was just a little bit too serious for my liking, to be honest. It was a nasty accident on the straight there, and fortunately I just missed it, but what happened after that I didn't really agree with.
putting that aside for a second, how are you enjoying coming back? It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. And poor old Craig said, I'm glad I'm standing here and I'm not out there when we started tonight.
Well, it is a tough night, and I haven't ridden much speedway, and dropping into a meeting like this, which is real hustle bustle, it is tough.
I thought you had a real smooth ride then. You seem to be catching Shane in the last lap or so.
Yeah, I definitely settled down in that last ride, and I felt the best I've done all night. And I think, to be honest, with a little bit of a break there, I relaxed.
Yeah.
And I relaxed in the race as well.
You're always talking about, to me anyway, what changes they make. What changes are you going to make as the night goes on?
I have made some changes, basically with the gearing. I just went 1 2 smaller on the rear. I've basically kept the bike fairly pretty much the same all evening because, to be honest, not riding for so long, I didn't really know what to do.
I tell you what, I almost forget, we've got a heck of a meeting on, Kelv. I tell you, it's 30 all, it's all to play for.
I tell you what, it's been hot, and the racing's been unbelievable, and Kings Lynn really mean business.
Yeah, they've risen to the occasion. You better go and do the boys up, mate.
Yes.
I was about to say, your number one's out. You feel like being a hero tonight?
Well, you never know. My chance may come. My moment may come.
From zero to hero, Kelvin Tatum, back to you. Thanks a lot.
Parker on the inside for Eastbourne. Tom Madsen has to come in as a rider replacement, the reserve for Kings Lynn. Brent Collier, the Eastbourne reserve, goes from gate 3. And the world champion, Tony Rickardson, from the outside, likely perhaps to provide the first heat winner from that gate here tonight. Dean Barker will battle him all the way. The meeting is level at 30 points apiece. And Peter Collins, we're getting just about everything here.
We certainly are, and I'm pretty sure that the Kings Lynn out Eastbourne.
Well, here we go. Our starting marshal walks away. Dean Barker on the inside picks it up. He's Martin Dugard's brother-in-law. Rickardson goes round the outside. Rickardson is taken wide by Barker. Barker can't close the gate. Rickardson picks up the speed. True brilliance from the world champion. Barker sticking with him. Back in third place in yellow is Tom Madsen. Back in the rear is Brent Collier. But the world champion, Tony Rickardson, determined to lead his team to victory. But look at Dean Barker putting him under pressure. We've got a race on here.
Yeah, Dean Barker's having a great challenge here on Tony Rickardson. Tony can't get away. Tony's riding the outside line. He's riding the very fast line, but Dean Barker's plugging away round the inside. But now Rickardson's bike stopped.
Oh, an engine failure for the world champion. We are getting just about everything here tonight at Arlington, and Dean Barker's in front now. Madsen in second place, Collier in third. This is going to be an Eastbourne heat victory, Eastbourne heat advantage. This will change it their way again. What else is going to happen here tonight? Dean Barker in red takes it. Tom Madsen in second place, in third place in blue. That is Brent Collier. That is 4 points to 2 to Eastbourne. It's now 34-32. The heat turned on its tail. Well, we are getting just about everything Speedway has to offer, and a darn sight more here tonight. But what a performance by Dean Barker, and what disappointment for the world champion, Tony Rickardson. From the gate it was tight, from then on it sorted itself out.
Yeah, Tony Rickardson on the outside makes a good start there. He pulls across. Now, we've not seen anyone win from gate 4. Tony almost did that. Now we can see him on the outside there, Dean Barker. Now, Dean Barker did very, very well there to pull away at that point, but Tony Rickardson went into the bottom turn very, very quick. We can see the start again. Tony makes a good one off gate 4. If anyone was going to make one from 4, was Tony. Tony came round the outside there. Now, later in the race, when Tony was leading, he shed a chain. Now, we've seen a lot of that recently. We've already had that once tonight. There's a lot of accidents we've had recently through chains breaking. Kingston have got 2 riders injured through broken chains. We can see there Tony Rickardson's got one, and that's because these frames are flexing too much, and that's what's causing problems right now, and it's something that a lot of people are going to have to try and sort that one out.
Dean Barker had a chance to lose a look back, and Dean Barker is Martin Dugard's brother-in-law. It's with Susie Perry.
Yep, and we'll mention that in a minute. We'll just find out first your feelings at the moment. Bit of a gift in a way with Tony having a machinery problem there, but good points all the same.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of times I had him lined up and he seemed to pull away from me, but when he dropped the chain I thought, oh great. Then I started to mess up myself, but I've got him again in the next one, so I'm going to try and not about to start and beat him this time.
It's obviously difficult now. The tension down here in the pits is amazing. It's a bit of a weird atmosphere, as you can imagine. But Martin's your brother-in-law, Stefan's your friend. What are your thoughts on the incident that we've just seen?
Well, actually, from what I saw, I can't comment until I watch the video because, but I'm a bit gutted really. But we just got to go now and as a team and try and finish the meeting.
But I mean, the fact is, to be honest with you, I was just about to interview Martin to see how he was afterwards. Just about to stick my mic in his face and say, how's the injury and everything, and all of a sudden I'm glad I moved out of the way because because that was really uncalled for, don't you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you'd have put the mic in front of him, he would have probably eaten it, the mood he was in. But, you know, what I saw, you know, it's not a good thing to see, really. And, like, it's me mate. If it wasn't me mate, then maybe, you know, I wouldn't have minded so much. But, you know, we've got to get over it now and just try and win the match.
Thanks, you keep concentrating, and I'm glad that I kept out of the way. I want to keep my nose as it is. Back to Craig and Jonathan Green.
Yeah, too right, Susie. Poor old Susie.
There's the lineup. Peter Narlin for Eastbourne goes to the inside. Travis McGowan for Kings Lynn goes from gate 2. Craig Watson for Eastbourne from gate 3. And Tom Madsen goes from the outside. That in the white helmet colours. Kings Lynn could run out of riders. Heat number 12. It's pointing up with a vengeance. Charlie Marshall goes away. Oh, a battle on the inside. And there, the feet were flying for Travis McGowan, who picks it up. But Craig Watson goes round him. Coming through on the inside as Peter Narlin. Eastbourne 1 and 2, Kings Lynn 3 and 4, and Eastbourne will move surely here into a 6-point lead, which opens up the question of tactical substitutions in the next race. Anything can happen here tonight, and most of it is already.
Yeah, this is just what Kings Lynn don't want to go 5-1 against here in this race, but out in front there, fantastic riding there from Craig Watson, the Premier League man.
Watson showing his potential. He's determined to ride at the elite league next year. He's playing his part for Eastbourne because with this ride he'll be their leading scorer on the night as he goes into the final lap. Craig Watson in blue picks it up, the 23-year-old from Sydney. In second place in red is Peter Narlin, the Swede, who started the season late for Eastbourne. Back in third is Tom Madsen, the Dane from Berwick, and back in the rear the Aussie Travis McGowan. But Craig Watson wins this in blue. In second place in red his teammate and partner Peter Narlin. Third in white there was Tom Madsen. That's 5-1 to Eastbourne. They now lead by 39 points to 33 with 3 heats to go. Got a feeling the last page in this big volume has not yet...
Taking self-defence lessons to be in this pit lane. I don't know about you, Kelvin.
Yeah,
but,
you want a suit like mine, don't you? That's what you want. You want all the protection here.
No, you know what? I want a suit of armour.
Aha. Yeah, OK, you're taking it the next step, aren't you?
OK, well, joking apart, because it was obviously a serious thing that happened, and we don't condone it in any way at all. But the meeting, you got to say, you know, 6 points ahead, and it's an exciting one, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. Apart from what happened just earlier, the racing itself has been a fantastic advert, and, you know, everybody really means business, and for Eastbourne then, that 5-1 was crucial.
Now, the only thing is, of course, the next heat, there's only one rider for Eastbourne, so we're going to lose points there.
Yes, that's going to be hard work. Dean's in the next race, and he's going to have to really pull out all the stops because it's a tough heat, and, well, they're all tough heats. So if he can limit the damage, then hopefully that Eastbourne can hang on to the lead.
Absolutely, but, of course, Kings Lynn need a 5-1, and they're up for everything tonight, especially now.
Well, yes, they'll be certainly motivated after the incident, but I think, you know, the Eastbourne boys are made of strong stuff, so I'm sure it's going to go down to the wire.
You haven't been a bad influence on Eastbourne tonight, have you?
Me?
In terms of violence?
Bad influence?
There's not a violent bone in your body, is there?
No, there isn't, no. No, it's been an interesting evening, to say the least.
Oh, apparently I've just heard that there can be a replacement for Martin Dugard. I think that's right. Would that be correct?
Possibly. They might be able to use Craig Watson at reserve, who won the last heat. And if that's the case, then he's flying tonight, so it may not be quite so bad.
I was going to say, I mean, Craig Watson's certainly a big fan with Newport fans, and he's obviously going to be a huge fan with the Eastbourne fans tonight. But he's just riding out of his skin, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I think they're very interested in him coming here next year, and he obviously wants to make his mark. But I think he's up against it in this race. I've just seen Tony Ricardson go out, so maybe he can beat the world champion.
Well, he's not going out, actually. I've just tricked you. It's going to be Brent Collier.
Oh, OK. All right. All right, well, Brent Collier maybe will have to win. He'll be a hero in a minute.
Wouldn't he just? No, I obviously just heard that information, so it's going to be Brent Collier going out for Martin Dugard. Oh, I tell you, it's all very exciting down here.
Brent Collier is the Eastbourne rider in red. He's at the back. He's coming through in third place. Going round on the outside in blue is Dean Barker. Barker picks up the lead and goes ahead of Tony Ricardson. This is another battle indeed here, because look how they're going. Because Tony Ricardson has now picked it up in front of Barker. And in third place in yellow and black, the Kings Lynn rider Lee Adams. Brent Collier outclassed at the back. It really doesn't matter whether he takes part or not. Mike Weston there, the Kings Lynn promoter, is absolutely furious about this. I can't see that it matters, because tailed off at the rear is Brent Collier. Tony Ricardson, along with his partner here in yellow, Lee Adams, are going to take a 4-2 in this one, and really somebody must get some cool heads in the pits, PC.
Yeah, there's just as much going on off track as there is on track right now. Lee Adams is chasing, he's putting Dean Barker under a lot of pressure. He's not found a way past. Tony Rickardson's out in front, looking back for his partner.
Rickardson looks back, but Barker's going to get second place. Adams coming with a vengeance. Barker holds him off. Rickardson wins it. Barker in second place. Back in third place is Lee Adams. That is a 4 points to 2 to Kings Lynn. It's now Eastbourne 41, Kings Lynn 37. It's going to be desperately tight going into the final race. But oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Off the track, sportsmanship is not the great word. Understanding of the rules is difficult for all of them. And Mike Weston, the promoter of Kings Lynn, is again talking to our referee.
Kings Lynn, Tony Rickarson, and in second place, Dean Barker.
Well, the referee refusing to answer at the moment while he marks up his programme. There is our referee. He's now going to talk to Mike Weston.
Playing Brady with you, Paul. It's Mike.
41. No, he's not up here at the moment.
Okay.
Mike, I've made a decision.
Can you get an announcement?
Well, Mike Weston there talking to the referee, hanging up the receiver. He's looking to the ACU controller, Graham Brody, who was down in the pits. But the understanding there, well, in the end, heat 13. And Mike Weston is going to talk, I think, with Susie Perry. Mike Weston is there having his say. He's talking. There's Graham Brody in the background, the controller.
But you promised me, you'll manage the control, but you promised me.
Mike, let's just calm down for a second. I know it's probably very difficult in your situation to do that.
It's very difficult, and let me tell you why. Because one of my riders has been criminally assaulted in the pits. As a result, he's unable to ride anymore. The rider who assaulted him has quite rightly been banned from the rest of the meeting by the referee. What that means is both Eastbourne and Kings Lynn have lost the services of one of their top riders. Eastbourne because of the physical assault on Stefan Anderson, and Kings Lynn through no fault of their own. So we do feel very aggrieved.
Well, I'm quite sure that you do, and I appreciate that. Now, your problem at the moment is that you don't think that there should have been anyone riding in Martin's place there, do you?
No, that's right, because when I was informed by the manager of the Speedway Control Board that Martin Dugard had been banned from the meeting, I specifically queried with him whether a reserve would be allowed to take his place, and I was given the answer no.
Now, how is Stefan at the moment?
Stefan is suffering from a suspected broken jaw. He's sitting in his van, or not in his van. He's sitting in a car and he's going to be driven home as soon as possible. And we hope that he'll be fit enough to ride tomorrow night, but I doubt that very much.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Thanks for talking to us. Now, Jonathan, the point here
is Craig Watson. The rider in yellow is Travis McGowan. Both teams making changes. I anticipated that Eastbourne would manipulate to put Watson in this in place of Collier because he has a better chance. Eastbourne lead by 4 points. Our referee's decision is that Martin Dugard and Stefan Anderson may both be replaced by the reserves, according to his reading of the regulations. Now, Brent Collier replaced Martin Dugard in that one and picked up no points at all, so that didn't really affect Eastbourne. But now here we have the situation with Brent Collier himself replaced by Craig Watson, who's had 2 heat wins in a row, and Tom Madsen is replaced by Travis McGowan for Kings Lynn. This promises to be a battle royal as they line up for the pits, and away they go now on the inside. Problems there in blue for Craig Watson, but coming round the outside in red there is David Norris. Shane Parker picks it up. It's Eastbourne 2 and 3 with the share of the points, and it needs McGowan to get into this for Kings Lynn. But out front, Shane Parker goes round that top end. Shane Parker picks up the lead. Whatever happens now, Kings Lynn will get the bonus point over the 2 meetings, but it looks as if Eastbourne could win this one with a share of the points here, putting them on course and a last heat finish, a last heat finale. But Shane Parker's going well here, PC.
Yeah, and Shane's been keeping out of trouble all night, just keeping his nose clean, and he's certainly keeping in front in this race. He's riding a total race on his own. He's not seeing any of the action that's behind him. He's riding his own race. He's picking his racing lines. He's going very, very well. And if he carries on like this, he'll have another 3 points for Kings Lynn, but it's going to be really struggle whether it's going to be enough points to finish the end.
Well, there is the heat win going to Shane Parker. He looks back, and a share of the points here means that we go into the final heat, which promises to be a dramatic heat 15 at 44.40. A 5-1 win in that last heat would share the match for Kings Lynn. And well, we've had just about everything, but Shane Parker goes on the inside. Tony Ricardson, gate 2, David Norris, gate 3, and Lee Adams, as you heard from Craig Boyce, on the outside. A 5-1 to Kings Lynn, which means that Adams and Ricardson in either order have to take the first 2 places, would give a share of the points tonight, 1 league point apiece. Kings Lynn, who got a 20-point lead from the home leg against Eastbourne, would take the bonus point. So a draw for them tonight would earn them 2 points. But if Eastbourne, a tremendous meeting. maybe having incidents, but certainly on the track it's been brilliant. And away we go with 6 laps now of this heat number 15. And away to go, Tony Rickardson picks it up. His teammate Lee Adams is going to have to come through, but at the moment it's the back. Eastbourne men packing in second and third. They will try and hold back Lee Adams to ensure victory. Adams is going wide with 1 lap gone. Tony Rickardson out front. There's a long way to go. Lee Adams can still pick it up. Lee Adams is good enough to do so. But Dean Barker in the blue helmet colour and David Norris in red are holding him up. World champion Tony Rickardson with 2 laps of the 6 gone. Looks back, and it looks here as if Lee Adams has got a tough task, PC.
Yeah, Tony Rickardson's comfortably out front. Lee Adams has got all the work to do. He's really having to go now at Dave Norris. He's trying to get around the outside of him. He's trying to go on the inside of him. He's not given up. There's 6 laps in this one, so it's certainly not all over. Everything to race for Lee.
3.5 gone now, and perhaps Tony Rickardson should have stayed back and held up the Eastbourne riders and given Lee Adams a chance of putting them through. But with 2 laps to go, that's an unlikely scenario now with Tony Rickardson out front. Rickardson is going to win this one, but Eastbourne are going to win the match. At the back, the battle is still tough, but Lee Adams has work to do behind David Norris. And with 1 lap to go now, the yellow and black flag taken by Tony Rickardson, and still Lee Adams is battling at the back, but still he has a lot to do. And with David Norris moving through in red there in 3rd place, he's going to hold him up. Tony Rickardson wins this in white. In 2nd place in blue, that's Dean Barker. 3rd just is David Norris in red. Eastbourne are share the points there at 3 points apiece. It ends at Eastbourne 47, Kings Lynn 43. Tony Rickardson